Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is War Train here. If you're new, do me a favor, please subscribe to this channel and click that notification bell down below so you can get notified whenever I make a new video. And do me a favor, if you enjoy the video, please like it. That'll really help out the channel, and I really appreciate it. And with that stuff said, guys, today's video, we're going to check out the Sega Genesis Mini. I haven't made a video on this at all, and I've been keeping a close eye on this thing. I actually pre-ordered this the day it went up for pre-orders. So I have been definitely paying attention to this thing, and I'm very excited. I love what I see. I was going to get this thing no matter what because I've been collecting these mini consoles. But the Sega Genesis, to me, it means a lot. This was a system that meant a lot to me as a kid. It was my first true console that was my own. Me and my brother actually shared a Nintendo, an Atari, and a ColecoVision. So to have my own Sega Genesis, that was just so awesome. I didn't have to, fight with anybody over it. It was mine and mine alone. So I definitely have a lot of fond memories of this console. I had gotten the Altered Beast collection, or the launch edition that came with Altered Beast, which had an awesome box of like the wolf face with the flames doing the transformation thing. It was awesome. I was so excited when I got it. The launch year, I got it for Christmas, and man, was I excited. I was so pumped because at the time, all that was really out was Nintendo, and Nintendo was doing great, and they had great games. But Genesis being 16-bit compared to 8-bit, you could definitely tell the difference, and it really did bring that arcade look to your house. It was like, what? Look at this. Look at these graphics. This is crazy. It looks like an arcade. Like, Altered Beast was just nuts. I couldn't even believe it with the transformations, and the sprites were huge, and the guys were all buff, and the guy kind of talked, "Welcome to your doom," or whatever he said. He sounded kind of weird, but it was cool. I was so excited, and it's something that I definitely still remember. And I mean, I got one right here, an original model Sega Genesis, the style I would have had as a kid. This thing is awesome, you know. And I got right here one of the controllers that you're going to be getting with it here. An original 3-button. These things are awesome. I have a lot of memories of this. I thought this thing was huge at the time, but I really like the bigger buttons. At the time, I thought the buttons were awesome because I had little fingers, so these buttons just seemed huge to me, and the D-pad felt so big. It was just, it was almost felt like I was hitting arcade buttons at the time because they were so big. But now they're pretty small because my hands got way bigger. So big difference. But now the Sega Genesis Mini is basically going to be about the size of this controller. I mean, figure the width is probably, this is probably the width of the Sega Genesis Mini, or this controller maybe even a hair wider. So I'm looking forward to this thing. It's going to be awesome. Just the fact that the cartridge slot's going to open up like this on it, I think is just awesome. And you're going to be able to add stuff to it, which is super cool. They're going to have stuff like where you can add little peripherals that don't actually do anything, which is kind of funny. You have, what is it, the Sega CD attachment that you can get in like Japan or something, and maybe the 32X, I believe, which is cool. It's just a funny little add-on here, but definitely cool stuff. Definitely something kind of neat. Is it a waste of money for that extra stuff? Yeah, probably. But is it neat? Absolutely. I don't know if I'll be getting any. I don't know. They're probably sold out, but it'd be cool to get that stuff down the line. Maybe I'll pick it up later. Definitely probably won't be getting it at launch or nothing, but it might be something cool to kind of get later, just to throw on there, just to look cool on a shelf. because I do collect stuff, so it will be neat. But let's get to the bread and butter of this thing, man, and is the games. This thing's going to have some great games. But first, they show you here, you're going to get two classic wired 3-button control pads, which are these guys right here. And let me tell you, it will feel nice to feel a fresh Sega Genesis 3-button controller in your hand. I haven't felt one of those in so long, so who knows? This might even feel a lot different. I mean, it's old. So the stuff with this new feeling, it definitely brings you back. And I used to love the 3-button controller, but then they made games more complicated and they introduced the 6-button controller. And there's been a lot of controversy about that. I'm fine with the 3-button controller, but it is disappointing that they don't give you the option to just pick up a officially Sega Genesis official 6-button controller. I guess you can, like, from GameStop, you can pre-order some ones from Retrobit, and yeah, they're probably good too. Definitely not knocking them. They're probably great, and I'll probably pick one or two of those up. I just wish that I could get the ones from Japan, sold separately or something. Maybe I'll look into that and maybe pick them up anyway. Or maybe I'll get a Japanese one, because there's one game I'm very disappointed is not on this. And that game is called Musha. And Musha is an acronym for Metallic Uniframe Super Hybrid Armor. And when I was a kid, that was like the coolest name I ever heard. So you can imagine being a big fan of that game and it's not being on here is a huge disappointment. But it's just one game that I'm really disappointed it isn't on there. And, it is on the Japanese version. I don't know if it's on any other ones, but I know definitely on the Japanese one. So I don't know. Maybe I may have to pick one of those up just to have it on official hardware with the official ROM installed. I don't know. I just think that's cool. I could emulate it, yes. And I may mod my American Genesis. So we'll see what happens, but it is a disappointment. But hey, it's not a deal breaker because there's still a lot of great games. But you're gonna get the two controllers. You're gonna get the mini console. You're gonna get a USB power adapter, a power cable, and an HDMI cable. And the good thing is, you're going to get the power adapter because let me tell you, PlayStation charged $100 at launch for their mini console, and they didn't give you a power brick, which was really ridiculous. They really cheaped out. That thing wasn't great anyway, but they should have at least gave you a power adapter for $100. So that was kind of a letdown, especially when now you could get one for $30. It kind of hurts when you paid $100 for one. Just saying. But let's see. So it's preloaded with 40 legendary Genesis games. And yes, they are legendary. I can almost remember every one of these games being main staples. Not every one, but a lot of these. Every person, including myself with a Genesis, had a lot of these games, or almost all of them. Echo of the Dolphin, super iconic. The game, I guess, it pretty much had to be there. Castlevania Bloodlines, one of the games I am so happy is on here. I've been playing this game on the Switch. Castlevania Collection by Konami. That Castlevania Collection is great. If you don't have it, pick it up. It's phenomenal. But I've been playing this game most of all on that collection. It's like one of the fastest running games on there, and it just shows you the speed of the Sega Genesis. It definitely did have some speed to it. So great game, highly recommend it. What an awesome Castlevania game. I didn't play that enough as a kid, and I really regret it, but I'm making up for it now, believe that. But then we have Space Harrier 2, classic. Those games are definitely classics. Shining Force, definitely a cool game. That definitely, I think, should be on here. Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. awesome. I like all these puzzle games, Tetris, Puyo Puyo, Columns style, all these little puzzle games. Dr. Mario, I have a good time with them. So yeah, I don't mind that being on there. And it is iconic. I mean, you see that on almost every Genesis collection anyway. Toe Jam and Earl, yes, this definitely should be on here. This is the Toe Jam and Earl I played a lot as a kid. Actually, it was the first game that I beat with my one older sister, so I have a lot of fond memories playing this game with her back then. And soon we'll be getting together and playing the new Toe Jam and Earl, probably on the PS4. But the next one, Comic Zone, cool art style, definitely a hard game, but there's fun to be had with that one there. Sonic the Hedgehog, an absolute classic. I couldn't wait to play this as a kid. Just watching these commercials with Sonic, just running, running so fast and doing the little loop de loops kind of stuff. I was just blown away, and I wanted this game so bad day one. I didn't get it day one, but I got it within, I think, the first 2 weeks, and I loved it. It was one of my favorite games at the time for quite a while. I just dominated that game. I played it so much. Altered Beast, another game back then. I loved it. I still do like it. I know some people don't like it. I actually got, what was it, the Sega Genesis collection for this. It was on the Switch, the Xbox One, and the PlayStation 4 with like 50 games or so. And this was one of the first games I actually played and beat on there. So I'm glad to see it on here. Me, it screams Sega Genesis, and like I said, I still have my original cartridge from that launch edition. So that's amazing, and I still have it. I don't have nothing else from my Sega Genesis original stuff from back then except for this game, which I can't even believe I still have it somehow. Gunstar Heroes, yeah, great game. Definitely glad it's on here. Just a fast Contra shooter style. I love them run and gun style games. Lots of fun. Another iconic game, Castle of Illusions. Definitely cool to see this on here. And World of Illusions. Mickey was iconic with this Illusion series on the Genesis. Thunder Force 3, great shoot 'em up games. I like the Thunder Force series of games. Definitely fun. I even have, I know I have one at least on my Switch. But let's see. I believe this is Super. Wow, I can't even read that. I want to say this is. I don't want to. I know what this is like a shoot 'em up. I can't remember the name, and I can barely read it. It's just weird with the colors. I don't know why. I want to say it's Fantasy Zone or something like that. Fantasy. Well, whatever it is, yeah, I think it's Fantasy Zone. It just looks weird how it's spelled. But yeah, definitely a cool little shoot 'em up game. I like these. Like I said, I like shoot 'em up games, so they're always fun. Shinobi, Return of the Ninja Master, Shinobi 3, I mean. Shinobi, great games. Revenge of Shinobi, I'm surprised isn't on here. I'm fine with Shinobi 3. Just any of the Shinobi games, just iconic games for the Sega Genesis. At least one of them had to be on here. So I don't know who went as far as picking these, but hey, whatever, that's fine. I love the 16-bit art style as well. So a lot of these games, even if they weren't the greatest, they still look really cool. I just like the sprites. I think the artwork is awesome. Streets of Rage 2, great game, great music, just one of the best beat 'em ups for that time period. Earthworm Jim, another unique game, still like lots of fun, really hard. I actually played this game originally on a PC, and I hated playing it with a keyboard because it was so foreign to me. I was so used to playing with controllers on consoles. So when this came out on Super NES and Genesis, I was so happy to finally play these games with controllers. So I played a lot of them too. I definitely spent some time playing Earthworm Jim, let me tell you. Great game. Sonic 2, great game. Glad it's on here. Wish we were getting 3 as well. That's kind of disappointing that even for the Sega Genesis Mini, we can't even get Sonic 3, but there is these issues with the licensing stuff because of Michael Jackson, even though he's dead, and yeah, there's just issues with that. It's a shame that stuff always got to boil down to money, even, when it's something as classic as this stuff. But yeah, whatever. Yeah, there's no change in that. But Contra Hardcore, awesome game. I love Contra. One of the best franchises of this whole time period. But Contra Hardcore, it is hardcore. Anybody that can beat this game, you've got all the respect in the world for me, because this game is so hard. I am horrible at it, and man, is this a difficult game. It's hard for me to even last through the first stage. I did a video recently playing the Contra collection on Nintendo Switch, and I couldn't even get past the first 10-15 seconds of it. So I need to put more time into it, so hopefully I can get further in the game. But cool game, definitely like it, but I wish I was better at it, or it wasn't so hard. Landstalker, definitely a cool game. Glad it's on here. Looking forward to checking this game out more. I don't have a lot of time on it, but I love the art style. I think it's cool, just the way it was made and the angle it's on. It's just definitely cool stuff. Beyond Oasis, whatever. It's not my favorite, but hey, it's definitely fine. I will be checking it out because I don't have a lot of experience with this game, but I'll have to see more when that one comes out and definitely play on it more. Ghouls and Ghosts, absolutely love Ghouls and Ghosts. I love Ghosts and Goblins, Super Ghouls and Ghosts. These games to me are just great, even though they're so ridiculously hard. I guess I like the punishment because I always come back for more, and and it always serves up the punishment. But the next one, Alex Kidd, definitely a classic. Back then, Alex Kidd, everybody knew Alex Kidd. That was just like a main staple for the Genesis. Same with Golden Axe, great arcade style game in the arcade as well. Golden Axes, I mean, they were awesome games back then, and I still enjoy playing them. I still like playing them in the arcade too. Phantasy Star 4 definitely looks cool. Another game my sister played a lot of when we were kids, so I spent a lot of time watching her play this. Definitely cool. Let's see, Street Fighter 2, definitely another awesome one that is on here. Street Fighter 2 is a classic. Definitely tough with a 3-button controller. Kind of stinks, so I'm gonna have to get a 6-button controller just to even play Street Fighter 2, because to play this with 3 buttons, not fun. It doesn't control very well, because I remember doing it when I was younger and it was weird, just too weird. Mega Man Wily Wars, probably one of my games I'm most excited for on here, just because I've never played any of the early Mega Man games like this in 16-bit. I think that is so cool. I've never played this game, so really excited that we're getting it. Before, you would have never got this game in the U.S. I guess you would have got a release if you were in Europe, but we didn't get it here in the U.S. unless, I guess, you had this broadcasting service. I think it was like through satellite or whatever. But you had to have a lot of money back then to have access to something like this, and I did not. So, never played it. Definitely looking forward to it because it's cool. It's Mega Man. Sonic Spinball. I like pinball a lot. So, yeah. I know some people don't like this game, but I'm glad it's on here. I'm looking forward to playing it. Vector Man. Another pretty classic game. A game you see on a lot of these collections. I'm not surprised to see it on here. Not bad. Not bad. Wonder Boy, definitely cool. I like the Wonder Boy series. They're just cool games, and I like what they did with some of the old versions where they re-released them recently and changed some art style, made it modern, but you could switch back to the old art style. I think that was so cool. Um, so the developers on that did a great job, but iconic game definitely deserves to be here. This game's a little iffy, Virtual Fighter 2. Not really sure why it's on here. I mean, it was 2D, so it's not a game I think Sega Genesis. When I hear of it, I think of the arcade or maybe the Saturn. Not really 2D fighter. Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird choice, but whatever. I'll check it out for a little bit, but I don't think that'll really pull me in. Not like if it was the arcade version or the Saturn version or something. Kind of wish they would have had a better version of that on here. I think that would have been awesome. Um, Elysia Dragoon, cool game. I wasn't sure if I was thinking of the right game, so I had to look this one up. But I have played this. I do like this game. It's definitely cool. Awesome that it's on here. So looking forward to playing that more. Columns, iconic. I'd be shocked if Columns wasn't on here. Honestly, Dynamite Heady, a game I've watched people play. I've never really spent much time with it. So definitely looking forward to checking it out. I'll definitely give it a go. But I've watched some people play it, and it looks interesting. I think there's some fun to be had there. This one I'm really excited for, Strider. Even though the box art is god awful, but yeah, I have a lot of fond memories playing Strider on the Genesis. This was a version of Strider that I played the most. Not a fan of the NES version. This was the version here. This Strider was awesome. It was the closest you could get to an arcade version at the time at your house. I might even enjoy this version better, more than the arcade, just because I spent more time with it. Even though I did play the arcade quite a bit, I just really spent a lot of time playing the Genesis version. Let's see here. So you got Kid Chameleon. This is a cool game. The idea of it's awesome at the time. I thought this was like the coolest thing, just that you got all these different like outfits that you wore and changed into these people, and then you got their abilities. I thought that was like the coolest thing ever. And there was a bunch of them too. That's what was so cool. Pretty much a standard platformer though. Besides that, a little weird in the beginning, but the costume change element, the skin change, that's the coolest part and the selling point of that game. Light Crusader definitely looks cool. I haven't spent a lot of time on it, so I don't really know how good it plays, but the art style looks pretty cool. Monster World 4. This game, I am so excited is coming on here. The art style looks awesome. This, I think, to me, is almost one of the best looking games on here. I don't remember ever playing this, but I looked at a whole bunch of screenshots of this, and the artwork is awesome. Just really happy this is on here. This may be one of the first ones I start playing, and I probably sink some time into that game. Because it definitely looks like something that I really want to check out. Eternal Champions, I can't think of this game off the top of my head, the gameplay of it, but I'll check that out too, just because I'm not super familiar with it. Maybe if I seen the gameplay, I probably know what it is, but just from the artwork on the front, I just can't place it in my head. But Road Rash 2, absolutely. I love the Road Rash. I spent a lot of time playing Road Rash back around this time period and for many years beyond this. Just a big fan of that early series. I loved it. It was just so much fun and different to just cruise on a motorcycle and kick the guy next to you and eventually hit him with a ball and chain or whatever. I just thought that was so cool. I mean, I think it's still a fun mechanic to this day. But then you get these bonus titles. Darius, the arcade game, a shoot 'em up that I believe this was a game that was on 3 screens, that they have modified and put on a regular screen version. So definitely cool. I've never played this on the Sega Genesis, so I'm looking forward to checking this out for sure. And Tetris, awesome. Can't wait to check this out. Even if it isn't great, I've never played Tetris on Genesis. I've never played a ROM of it or nothing. So I'm really looking forward to this. And man, I am excited to get this thing, guys. This is a pretty solid list of games here. And I have no problems paying the price of admission on this one. That's for sure. And if you are able to mod this thing later, whew, boy, I mean, I'm sure you will be able to, but honestly, I don't even think it needs it. Well, it needs Musha. So it needs one game. Well, it needs one game that I want to see. I want to see Musha on here, but it needs one game and then I'll be happy. But I would be fine without touching this thing as far as modifications. Because, yeah, this list of games I think is great. I'm definitely looking forward to this thing. How about you guys? Are you looking forward to this? Did you pre-order this? I pre-ordered it day one. I can't wait to play it. I'm just super excited to get it. I gotta tell you. But let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Are you picking this up? Did you pre-order it? And are you a fan of these mini consoles, or are you getting burned out from them? I'm definitely interested in what people think about this stuff, because I've been collecting these things since the beginning. So let me know. But do me a favor, if you enjoyed the video, please give me a like, subscribe to the channel. And that's the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm the War Train, and I'm out. Have a good one, guys, and thanks for watching.